Hey guys, so in this video we'll be going through equations of lines. So essentially what we'll be going through is finding the gradient between two coordinates, finding the equation of the line when a gradient has been given and a coordinate has been given, and also how to find the equation of line for parallel lines and perpendicular lines. So essentially this is going to be covering the whole thing. So what I'll be doing is going through all these steps, giving you guys some questions to try out, and then you guys can play the video back to see the work solutions. So if these videos are helping you and if this is something that you would like to see more often, just give a thumbs up. That would be really appreciated. And also just put it on the comments as well, things that you want me to do or other topics as well. Right, let's get straight to it. So I have 3 questions here to start off. So I'll be going through these. So the first one, we're looking at this, which is saying find the gradient of the line going through these 2 points, 11, 3 and 4, 2. So if you don't know already, to find the gradient, let me use red. So to find the gradient, there's a formula, right? Which is m equals change in y, which is y2, minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So change in y over change in x. So it's very easy. All you're going to do is you have these 2 coordinates. What I'm going to label this is I'm going to label this as x1 and this is as y1. I'm going to label this coordinate as x2 and y2. Obviously x is the left number and y is the right number, right? And all I'm going to do to find the gradient is I'm just going to put these numbers or these values inside this formula. So y2 is 2 minus y1, which is 3, over x2, which is x2, not y2, that's 4, minus x1, which is 11. So if you work that out, that's going to be minus 1 over 4 minus 11, which is minus 7. But because you've got 2 negatives, when you divide it, it gives you positive. So your gradient is 1 over 7. That is it. That's how you find the gradient between 2 coordinates. And if we look at the second question here, find the gradient of the line now going through this, we're going to use the same formula. So we're going to, again, write this as x1. We're going to write this as y1. We're going to write this as x2, and then we're going to write this as y2. And again, we're going to use the same formula. So y2 minus y1. So m equals y2, which is minus 1, minus my y1, which is 7, over x2, which is this time 3, minus x1, which is minus 1. Now be careful. Minus 4 means just put in a bracket like this, minus. So, because it's 2 minuses. So minus 1 minus 7 is minus 8. 3 minus minus 4 is 7. So your gradient is m equals minus 8 over 7. That is it. That's all you have to do to find the gradient. Once you get the 2 coordinates, just find the difference and divide it. So make sure you write this down if you don't know how to find the gradient, to take notes of this. And then I'll go through, well, I'm going to go through this next one is how to find the equation of the line. So this next question is saying line P goes through 8 and minus 2 and has a gradient of 3. Find the equation of line P. So when we want to find the equation of a line, if you don't know already, the equation of a line is normally written as y equals to mx plus c, right? So m is normally known as your gradient, as you probably have figured out by now. And then your c is your y-intercept, right? So essentially what we want to do when we find the equation of line is our answer has to be in this format: y is equals to something x plus something c. So the first thing we want to do is label this as x and then label this as y. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute this coordinate and gradient in this equation to find c. So the first step is find c. What is c? So I'm going to use this formula: y equals mx plus c. Now my y value I know, which is minus 2, so I put minus 2, equals my m, which is the gradient 3, bracket times x, which is 8, plus c, right? Remember, I'm trying to find c, so that's minus 2 is equals to 24 plus c. So we can rewrite this as 24 plus c is equals to minus 2. It's the same thing. Now c is by itself here. Move the 24 to the other side, which is minus 2 minus 24. So c is equals to minus 26. I found my c-interception. The final step is you just write the equation line. So it's going to be y equals your m, which is, what was m? 3. So that will be 3x plus c, which is your c-intercept, in this case, minus 26. So that is my equation of line. Y equals 3x minus 26. Okay, so take a note of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a couple of questions to try out. Play the video again, and then you can see the work solutions. Okay, so here's the questions. Have a go, and then I'll go through this. Right, so the first one is finding the gradient. So we know straight away we're going to label this as x1. We're going to label this as y1. We're going to label this as x2. And we're going to label this as y2. So again, if you remember our formula, m is equals to change in y over change in x. and we're just going to put these numbers in. So m is equals to y2, which is -1, minus y1, which is 4, over x2, which is -5, minus x1, which is 3. So that means m is equals to -1 minus 4, which is -5, over -5 minus 3, which is -8. Two negatives become positive, so your answer is 5 over 8. This is what you should have got for the gradient. Now, if we look at the second one, again, what I'm going to do, so this is finding the equation of line Q. We've got a coordinate and a gradient. So I'm going to label this as x, and I'm going to label this as y. And remember that it's going to be y equals mx plus c. So I'm going to put this inside here. So the y is going to be 3. My m value is going to be -1 times x, which is going to be 5 plus c. So that's going to be 3 is equals to -5 plus c. So c is going to be equals to 3 plus 5, which is 8. So my equation of the line is going to be y is equals to -x plus 8. And that should be your answer. So if you got this, well done. If you haven't, check where you went wrong. If you're still not, and if you still don't understand, just put it down in the comments and I can help you guys out. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at parallel and perpendicular lines and how to find equations for those ones. We have two questions. One which is a parallel question and one which is a perpendicular question. Both we have to find the equation of the line. So let's look at this one. Find the equation of the line that is parallel to y equals -4x minus 11 and goes through 4, 9. Now, two things that you need to know when we say parallel and perpendicular. So when something is parallel, that basically means the gradient is the same. Gradient is the same. Okay, I actually tell you the perpendicular when we do that after there. So when something is parallel, the gradient is the same. So if we look at this equation, we know my m value is -4, right? That's my gradient if you think about it, right? Because it's y equals mx plus c. So m is -4. So my gradient is -4. But because it's saying find the equation line that is parallel to this, if something is parallel, remember gradient still stays the same, right? So we can say m equals still -4. So we do the same thing. So now I've got my gradient as -4 and I've got a coordinate which is 4 and 9. So I'm going to label this as x and I'm going to label this as y. And then I'm going to find the equation of the line as I did before, y equals mx plus c. So I'm going to substitute it. So it's going to be 9. Gradient is -4. X is 4 plus c. So 9 is equals to -16 plus c. So that means c is equals to 25 because I'm adding 9 to 16. So my equation is going to be y is equals to -4x plus 25. That is my equation of the line. Pretty simple. So in this one, we do the same thing and we know that the gradient is the same. That's it. Now perpendicular, what it means, and I think the best way to explain to you perpendicular is essentially, say for example, I've got my gradient as 2. If I want to find the perpendicular gradient, essentially I flip it. So the gradient now becomes 1 over 2, but because there's no minus, you add a minus. It's called a reciprocal, right? Say for example, my gradient is 3. Then my reciprocal gradient or perpendicular gradient is going to be 1 over 3, but add a minus. Say for example, my gradient is 2 over 5. Again, I'm going to flip it. So m is equals to 5 over 2, but then there's no minus, so add a minus. Say for example, now I have -7 over 8. I'm going to flip it. M is equals to 8 over 7, and I don't need to put minus because there's already a minus at the front already, right? So that's all perpendicular means. So if we look at this equation, we have y equals 2x minus 9. So the gradient on this is going to be 2, right? So my gradient here is going to be 2. So the perpendicular gradient, what do you guys think it would be? Pretty simple, right? -½ So that's my perpendicular gradient. So I've got my perpendicular gradient and I've got my coordinate. I can then find my equation of the line, y equals mx plus c. So again, this is going to be x, this is going to be y. If we put this in, 8 equals to -½ times 3 plus c, right? So 8 is equals to, you can use a calculator if you want, that's going to be -3 over 2 plus c. So that means c is equals to 8, and then move the -3 over 2 to the other side, so it's +3 over 2. So that means that's c equals to 260, 19 over 2. If you're not sure, just use a calculator to find the value. So that means you got your c value. So y is equals to the final step to find the equation of the line is, what's your gradient again? -½ x plus 19 over 2. And that is the equation of the perpendicular line. So what you can see is everything stays the same. It's pretty similar to what we were doing before, right? The only thing is now we're just adding parallel or perpendicular lines. So just the gradient changes if it's perpendicular. Everything else stays the same. So this is why if you understood how to find an equation of the line, the normal way of doing it, then this is just an add-on. That's all it is. Okay, so write this down. If you haven't got the notes down already, write it down. Make sure you understand what you're writing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a couple of more other questions on this for you guys to try out, and then I'll show you the work solutions for that. So here are the questions. Have a go at them, and then we'll go through this. So this E1, the DC1, this one. So find the equation of the line that is parallel. So again, the gradient for this line is going to be 9, the number in front of x. Parallel means the gradient stays the same, so my gradient is still 9. And I've got my coordinate minus 5 and 2. So I'm going to do y equals to mx plus c. I know this is x, and I know this is y. So if we put 2 there, m is 9 times x, which is minus 5 plus c. So 2 is equals to minus 45 plus c. So c is equals to move minus 45 to the other side becomes positive 45. 2 plus 45 is 47. So the equation you should have got is y is equals to 9x plus 47. That's the answer. For the next one, perpendicular. So we know the gradient on this one is going to be minus 5. But perpendicular means what? We flip it. So minus 5 becomes 1 over 5. And you take away the minus because it was already a minus there. So we've got the gradient as 1 over 5. And then what we've got is a coordinate, which is 8 and minus 3. So again, we're going to find the equation of a line normally. So that's going to be x, and that's going to be y. So that's going to be minus 3, m is minus 5, and then x is 1 over 5 plus c. So minus 3 is equals to minus 5 times 1 over 5 cancels this out. So that becomes just minus 1 plus c. So c is equals to minus 3 plus 1. So c is equals to minus 2. So that means your equation of the line, final answer is going to be 1 over 5x minus 2. And that is the answer. So if you've got that, well done. You've pretty much understood how this works. And yeah, that's it. Really hard to find the equations of perpendicular parallel lines as well. So if this video has helped you out, please give this video a big thumbs up. That would help. And again, any other things that you would like me to do, just put it down in the comments and I can help you guys out. Until the next time, I'll see you guys on the next one.